Grakkis is a sand-swept desert ruin. Once home to a planet-spanning forest of unfathomably large trees, it is now that forest's graveyard. Its stone-like petrified remains like looming monoliths through the ages. It was not our plan to come here, but our ship, the Scarab, had other ideas. We fell out of hyperspace with Grakkis looming before us and are now forced to land. We are a science team, not explorers. Hopefully our training will save us, along with our trusted AI helper, Luna, to find a way back off this barren waste of a planet.
Warning. Warning.
Status update.
Everything is breaking. We must have hit some sort of energy field. I will stabilize the ship, but we have to land now.
Warning.
Right now.
Warning.
Bringing her down, but it is going to be rough. Okay, we've landed. Now let's see what is in store for us outside.
Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new playthrough of Unsettled. Now, I have a previous playthrough of this on the channel, so if you want to go see how I handled and tackled a couple of the tasks on Planet Winora, I will put that in the, there'll be a card or something that you can get to that would take you to those on screen and also below in the comments. But I want to get started with a new playthrough. This time we're going to tackle the planet Grakkis. Now, you can find other playthroughs of this, but it looks like a lot of fun to me, so I thought I would do it. Now, a couple things. I'm not going to go over a heavy rules review. If you want that, you can go back to my previous episode and watch that, because I do describe in detail what we're going to be doing. In this one, we're just going to be talking about the specifics of this scenario, which is going to be Task A, jump-starting the Scarab on the planet of Grakkis. And we're going to get going with that right now. There's a couple of things from the setup that I wanted to do with you, just so you could see how this plays out. The first one is, in the game, this is recommended for people who have played multiple times, there are 3 different versions of the Scarab, and they have an ability on them instead of just a blank. Or you can just play with the blank. But we're going to play with one of the special ones. So I'm kind of randomizing them here. Let's see. And then we'll just pick this one, see what it says. The Scarab Rejuvenation Pod. So right here we can tick down a thing. I got to know what that does. I'm not sure. To remove a marker, a distress marker, right? So I think we'll put that down there. I don't know how often we'll get to use that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's put that down there. That is our Scarab, and again, now it has a special ability on it where we can spend a die. The other thing is, I didn't get to do our traits for our special traits for our characters. I waited for that to show what, the randomness of this and what we could get out of it. We're going to deal 2 out. Our 2 characters in this scenario are going to be Alice and Fee. Alice is the red player, and Fiona, Fee, is going to be the blue player. And you will hear their lovely voices throughout this. We're going to get right to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's start with Fiona. No. Yeah, okay. Not that it matters who we start with, but this is Fiona. Again, I'm not going over all the rules. There's her little guy right there. I think, though, I think we're going to start probably with robotics with her. I like getting I think we need engineering. We're going to start with engineering on the other character. This is her track out. This goes right here, actually. This is her science track. When she gets up there, she'll have a breakthrough. She'll have insight will allow her to have breakthroughs in robotics, which will allow her to use our companion Luna better. Anyway, I'm shuffling this up, and then I'm going to draw from the bottom. Let's see. Let's do that a couple more times. All right. What do we get? We get 1 and 2. Okay, we got our Artificer and Zealot. Now remember, these are two-sided. They represent being in normal state or in a, I think low morale state is what they call it. That's what I call, I don't remember. Yeah, low trust state. So we got Artificer, which is investigate, reveal, and this would replace our investigatability. I don't know if I like that. Reveal an opportunity on your node to gain an insight plus. Well, that's actually not bad, but then it normally doesn't give you the insight bonus, so I don't like that. Let's look at Zealot. Zealot is, if we use our orange die, we're going to get insight, and it says traverse, an explorer of your choice takes an extra traverse. I think we're doing this one. This one is going to be better. It's going to cover our traverse spot, which is right here. And that is going to be Zealot. Now, we're going to take that out. We're going to go on to doing this for Alice now. Okay, let's give it a quick shuffle here. And then I'm going to draw one from the bottom. Leader, investigate. Oh, this is good. It replaces our investigate, which gives us the exact same ability plus something. Reveal an opportunity on your node when we investigate. Well, okay. But what does this do differently? Oh, it ticks it up instead of down. Oh, that's super cool because we use that a lot. Okay, so Alice is going to be our investigator. I don't even know if I want to pick another one, but I will just to see what it is. I really like that one. Let's see if we get one better. Empath, theorize. This would give us insight for just theorizing. It doesn't cost, this costs nothing to theorize. For each of your distress, you also gain a uptick on our insight dice. Man, I don't know. This is actually really good too, but I think I'm going to stick with that investigate. I think that's a better play for us. So we'll do those. That is super cool. We got our abilities. Our special abilities are in place, and those are the two things in setup that I wanted to make sure we did on camera with each other so we could see how that played out. With that said, we have our trusty companion Luna. I really want to paint her, but I just haven't had the time and opportunity.
You did not paint me. You are not a good friend, Doug.
We have Fiona. And we have Alice, and they're going to be our scientists. Now, you notice there was a male narrating voice. That is the ship's computer, okay? Just so you know, yeah, so we get some narration going on. Now, we are going to go right into the scenario right now. It's to task A, and first off, I'm going to hold it up on screen for a minute in case you want to read it and skip the voiced over intro, but then we're going to do this intro right now. So this will be Grakkis Survival Task A. Here is the intro. Now I already did the other part of the intro, which is the intro to the whole Grakkis planet, but this is specifically for scenario A, jump starting the Scarab.
The Scarab's primary engine is compromised, leaving us unable to create thrust and just sort of floating around. We've strategically floated to the surface of this stormy desert wasteland, where we've strategically thumped down between two possible building sites for us to set up science stations. Very strategically, not at all by lucky happenstance. If we don't find a way to repair the engine, this place will become our graveyard. So we're gonna find a way, because as graveyards go, this planet isn't great. We can do better. The good news is that readings indicated the wild chemical storm raging across the planet has the potential to create the kind of massive gaseous discharge we require for our repairs. First, we need to construct accumulator pylons, science for batteries, to store the storm's chemical electrical energy. Then we'll leash a conductive tether from the batteries to the Scarab. Then we'll use that energy to repair the engine. It's pretty complex science, which isn't really the science we would have asked for, but hey, we have each other, which has sometimes been enough.
Okay, with that out of the way, you can see that I've done the setup here. It says place the Scarab in the center of the play area, configure the environment nodes with the Empyrean hideout, which is way the heck up there. And in the upper right hand, and the Stonewood Sanctuary, which is way down here. I don't think you can see it right there. In the lower left. Randomize the remaining nodes and place them as shown. Place the crew and Scarab, the crew on the Scarab, and we've done that. So that is that part of the setup done. Now we're going to move on to the next part, which is going to be part 3, and this is what we have to do. Okay, construct accumulator pylons. The only safe place to construct pylons are about as far apart as possible, so we're kind of having a day. You must construct, this is why I use a voiceover, because I read these things terribly. You must construct both pylons. Use the action below when on a node with an empty build site to construct a pylon. I'll show you the pylon tokens. There's those. And then it says, place a black marker on the box each time you build one. So when we complete this, we need a lot. First off, we need engineering. We need a build site. We need to take an action to fabricate a pylon. We need to spend 2 energy, 2 supplies or whatever, materials, and 2 information, knowledge, 2 supplies, materials, and 2 energy from our energy. We've got to charge up our power up our stuff. So data, and we need to do that. And that is, I think, let's keep going because I think, okay, we got that. So when the focus cube is removed from the action space and both boxes are filled, discard this, discard the markers and advance. So we're not going to advance yet until we've completed this part of the scenario. I'll put this right over here with the rest of our stuff. Now we have a couple things on the board that's worth noting. That is the storm. The storm does things. Now we have these storm cards. Whenever the storm shifts, we're going to be drawing a new storm card. Now how does the storm shift? Well, up here on our time track, and by the way, I don't have this laid out the way that the game recommends. I have it laid out in a way that's more conducive for me filming, so I want to make that clear. There's a very clear layout when you're playing, especially with other players, of how it should look on the board. You don't have to do that. It just helps because, see, we've got survival tasks down here, but I'm going to put them over here because it's too difficult. I don't have enough space. But as we tick up time, which you'll see how we do that, if you're not familiar with the game, you'll see it. We're eventually going to come to this storm marker, and that is going to adjust the storm up and down. And we don't really want to be in the storm unless there's a reason to be. And there might be. I don't know. I've watched a little bit of Grakkis, but not enough to spoil it for me, so I'm not sure. I just know that we need to build our pylons on build sites. That's what I know we need to do. So we can accumulate power and charge up the ship. All right, well, with that said, I think that's enough of setup. Everything else is basically the same. If you haven't, we'll go over one more quick thing before we get going. That is Luna's cool ability in this one. She has a very specific ability. It says right here, it's part of Grakkis, primary function. Her primary function is the bionic leash. Adjust the elevation of an explorer within 1 node of Luna. So what that means is that when we're in the storm, if she's within 1 node of us, a location is node, she can shift our players up and down and tether them and leash them back and forth between the locations. That's pretty cool, right? So anyway, we will see that in action probably pretty soon. And just as a quick refresher, I thought I'd put this up on screen for you so you can see what we're going to do during our turn. During our player's turn, we have move actions and free actions. So as a main action, that would be our, sorry, not move action, main action. As our main action, we can do one of these things. We can move, which allows us, we get 1 free move, which allows us to move 1 space. But there's consequences to that sometimes. We'll see that in play. We can set 3 focus. One of your focus dice must rest. We have to rest one of our focus. That has to happen out of our 3 dice. One of them must rest and recover. We can move Luna up to 1 space, and we can scan with Luna. We can reveal data or materials. Very useful. Okay, free stuff we can do. Use a science breakthrough. Now, they're not free. They tell you it's limited once per turn, and it tells you what the conditions are. There might be conditions for using a breakthrough. Scientific breakthroughs come from us getting insight and discovering technologies on the planet. We can use anomalies, discard both of the discovery. Now, we're going to collect a lot of anomalies in the game, but this one is a little different. Sometimes you have to find, when you find an anomaly, you have to go looking for it. There's an opportunity to go find it. You'll see how that works. Forfeit an opportunity, we can discard it and do nothing. That's alter science pursuit. We can change how we are tracking what we're tracking to science, robotics, engineering, chemistry, and those are the 3 types of science we can pursue. We can exchange discoveries if we're in the same space. That's great. We can contribute to survival tasks. That's like, for example, our construction of the accumulator pylon. We can go there, and someone has to have engineering, then we contribute all the resources. And then also additional free actions, we can gain insight at the cost of data. That's not a big deal. We can gain focus at the cost of materials. We can move Luna extra at the cost of energy. And we will probably not do a lot of those types of things because resources are very important. As you can see, we have to build the accumulator pylon. Okay, so with that said, we know what we need to do. We've crash landed on the planet of Grakkis. Our engines are acting up. We know how to, we have a scientific philosophy of how we can repair those. That's amazing. And we're going to do stuff, right? So the first thing we're going to do, and it's going to take us time. So this is a puzzle type game. We have to figure out how to do this in the time we have. And that's the important part. Now, one thing we didn't look at is like, what are the two special things for these? Why are they special? Well, they're build sites, first off. That's where we got to get the pylons, right? So this is the Hyperion hideout. It says if you are elevated is part of the storm right there, you're immune to the storm and may access this build site structure. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then we also have down here, we have another guaranteed build site with the Stonewood Sanctuary. It says if we're grounded, you're immune. So two different ways to go. I think elevated is probably, I don't know which one's more likely. Are we floating around or are we on the ground? I don't know. But we're going to take our turn. We're going to start with Fiona. All right, so Fiona is our orange player. She's right here. And the first thing we're going to do is take advantage of Luna. And I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. But we're going to just have her go explore right here, I think, to start with. So she will move here. We're starting, right? So boom, her turn. She will move here. She's going to explore this specific position. It's the Mystic Formation. We'll take a look at that now. It costs no time or anything to move in here, but it does cost time to move out north and south, and there's nothing, or north and this direction, but there's nothing south of us, so we can't do that. However, if you are grounded, you may uptick a die. That's pretty good, but we have to put the die there to do that. It takes an action, and so basically, we are going to move Luna there.
Moving to new sector.
So next up, what are we going to do with Fiona herself? Well, she's going to take her free move action and actually join Luna there. It cost us nothing to do that, which is great. So we'll do that. And then we also have our 3 dice to use. Well, 2 of them. One of them has to go into rest. With her traverse ability, remember, we might do, you know what? It might be better to take a traverse action into there and bring, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to change that just a little bit. We're going to take our traverse action because she's special. And if we use this insight die, which I don't remember what they're all called. It's on the back here. I have a hard time remembering it. That one is energy. The energy, wonder, and awareness are the types of insight dice we have. Now, these aren't dice in the traditional sense. We rarely roll them. I've seen some scenarios where you do. But basically, we just tick that down 1 because it says so right there. We put it in the space, and then we get the action. So that means... Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. That means if we use an energy die, we gain an insight. That's great. That means she gains an insight in robotics. That's very helpful. And she gets to traverse, which means we get to move and take an explorer with us. And that's the difference between the free move and that. Now, what's cool is we haven't used any time yet to do anything, but we've done a few things already. So while she's there, I think she's going to look for an opportunity, like have a discovery, right? That's, I think, really, really important for us to do. So let's figure that out. I had to make a little bit of an adjustment here because I need my 2 piles of opportunities. Again, the space is a premium, but so I made a little adjustment to our play area, which is fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a discovery. Now, how do I do that? Well, we investigate. It says you reveal an opportunity on your node. So we're going to do that. We're going to do, and it says to tick it down 1. So we're going to tick it down 1. There we go. And she's going to investigate. Now, because I used our green die, our wonder die, I believe that is, right? If I'm not mistaken. It is our wonder die. Yeah. We get to have more insight. So she goes up 1 more on robotics. That's really helpful to us. And again, she got to pull, she already pulled somebody with her. And this is going to be her second action, is to make a discovery. So 2 things happen here. First off, we take one of these tokens. We put it there to show that we've made a discovery. And then we pick a pile. And we're going to do the blue. So we'll get that blue one out first. And I'm just shuffling them up a little bit to make sure they're nice and shuffled. Okay. I'll just do 1 more cut. All right, there we go. What do we get? An acquired paste. Okay. Luna informs you that she has completed a preliminary analysis of the colorful paste inside the rocky vegetation. The findings suggest that it is indeed likely to be very delicious and irregularly sticky. Also, it is packed with a smorgasbord of interesting other elements that may prove useful. Should we find a concentration of the stuff, we should nab it. Immediately place the moment marker here when the object to the right is found, place the marker on that node. So here's another reason I left this little space, because we're going to have to put that here. We're going to take this, and instead of putting it on the board for us to do, we're going to put it right here, and we're going to take the snowflake bulb. Where's that? Snow fruit bulb or whatever, stone fruit bulb. I'm going to say it 10 times until I figure it out. Right there. Now, until we find the location that has that on it, we cannot do this yet. But there's some prerequisites. First off, we spend a die. If we spend our green wonder die, we're going to get insight. This says harvest a stone fruit bulb. It says prerequisite, locate the object and be grounded. Okay, so we haven't located the object yet, but we made a discovery. There we go. So we do know that for our last die, we're going to rest our blue die and pip it up. So yay, we're at 3. That's really useful. Okay, and that marks the end. I don't think there's anything more that I can or want to do with Fiona, and I think we're going to go to Alice next. Let's do that. You know what I didn't have Luna do last time, which I absolutely would have done, so I'm getting back into the game. I'm going to retro this, if you don't mind. I'm going to have her search for materials there, because you can do that in addition to all the other stuff. So before we completely finish Fiona's turn, we did get one material that we can harvest right there. Now it takes players to harvest materials. It takes Luna to harvest data. Just, you know, and energy comes in there's different ways to get energy. We have to spend an energy die to charge power, which is not a big deal. If we spend, well, we can spend any die, but if we spend our energy die, we actually tick it up and get 2 energy instead of 1. Okay, so we're back to now Alice's turn. Alice is going to instruct our Luna to move to here. Let's do that.
Moving to new sector.
Okay, so Luna has moved up here. You notice, again, no time to move. We're going to get through here without spending... We haven't spent any time yet. This is fantastic. No time whatsoever. Wait, did I spend time when I did my dice? I think I did, actually. I have to look that. I got to remind myself of the games a little bit. But we found this behemoth graveyard. There's a big giant skeleton there, which you saw in the intro. But we don't have the ability to get to this yet. However, it says when entering, if you are petrified, you gain insight. We are not petrified. We are nothing at this point. And that is putting Luna there, where she will then search for, she'll scan for data. Let's do that. It's all coming back to me. We use a time when we do this, required at the end of each turn. So we're going. And by the way, you can do these in any order you want, but that does tick our time track up 1. What we're going to do next is we're going to have Luna look for data in that sector right there.
Scanning for data.
Okay, Luna has found 3 data there. That is fantastic. So we're probably going to use an action for her to pick up the data. Now, Alice, we can do that from anywhere, by the way. We don't have to be with her for her to pick up the data. We're just giving her a command to do that. So with 3 data there, I think that the first thing we're going to do is, I would like to theorize, but if we use the blue die to collect the data, we're going to get 2 instead of 1. Remember, we need 2 in order to do our construct pylons. We want to start working to that. So we're going to take her die, mark it down by 1, and we're going to put it way over here on this chart right here, which shows us if we use that, we're going to get to collect 2 data instead of 1, and we collect 2 data. Now, like I said, though, we have to be in the space to collect materials. I'm not thrilled with taking the time and energy to collect 1 material, so that's not very good. However, we do have our leader ability, which I think we're going to do once we move. So we're going to take our free move action. Now, it costs us 1 time to move up here because there's a time on this side, but there's none on this side. So we're going to move up here with her. It does take us a time, which sucks, but I think we need to do that so that we can continue advancing. We got to move all over the board because remember, we got to build the pylons on 2 different areas, and we got to collect all the materials by the time we get there. It's kind of crazy. I might lose. Might be hard. They're all hard. All right, so we got there. That's good news, and there's still 1 data left there, but I think what we're going to do there is we're going to do our investigate. Now remember, she has a special investigate, so what we're going to do is we're going to take her green die, her wonder die, and we're going to put it up here. Remember, it pips up for her there, which is amazing. That's such a powerful ability, and it gains her an insight, so I just put her engineering up 1. You don't have to see it on screen, I suppose, and we get to reveal the another node. So we're going to take this one here. Let's do that. Okay, We're going to shuffle these ones up here, and we're going to find a new... I'm not going to shuffle them every time. I just want to do it for the first time since we haven't started playing it. There we go. Let's see what we get. Gather paste buds. A strange pulse from the storm catches your attention, and you spot a large creature slowly emerging from the tempest. Fleshy spheres dangle from its undercarriage. Swarms of smaller creatures come and go, attaching and removing the fleshy spheres of various fullness. A sense of obvious opportunity. Immediately resolve the storm trigger. Oh, not good. That actually has an impact on us. I'll show you that immediately. So in this deal, we have to have, we must have Luna present. It'll uptick for us. It is in this space. Create paste siphon. Prerequisite, Luna must be present and we must be elevated. So we can take care of both of those on the turn, and we're going to get the paste pouch, which is interesting, and 2 insight. So this is pretty good, and basically that means that this marker, this big marker here, is going here. We're probably going to have Fiona do that, but we're going to take the effect of the storm. So let me show you what that is. I'm going to take the card that's currently up. Now, because it was our first turn, we didn't do this first part, but this happens. Continue the process until the node has no data. Remove 1 data node if possible, then remove 1 data from an adjacent node. Well, the good news is it's early on. We only have 1 data node to lose, and that's this one, but we do, in fact, lose it due to the storm. So that's how the storm works. Yuck, right? Not fun. Now, we know when we cross the storm threshold, another thing will come into play, and the storm will change positions. We need somebody elevated, but I don't remember if they end their turn in the top part of the storm. They're impacted. But think about this. This doesn't really do anything. Change the storm elevation and replace this card. Okay, so we just did that. We got to do that as well. So unfortunately, we used both of our dice here. I put this here to make it easier. So the storm is now grounded. It's roiling along the ground. We're going to replace this card right here. Let's see what we get. We're going to get a new energy surge. High voltage. High voltage strikes. All local explorers tick down. That's going to be a die. That's 1. That's not good. And gain an insight. Okay, so we're already on, or next to Alice's board. Let's check that out. Unfortunately, again, she used both her dice, so we're kind of out of luck here. We're going to end up in the storm. I got to look up again what exactly happens when we're in the storm. At the end of our turn, I think we have to take this energy storm action again, but we'll see. So basically, this ticks this down to 1, and she gains an insight, so she's gained another insight as a result of that. And it says, I don't think we replace this card yet. I think that just happens now. Oh, that only happens when we get that symbol, which we got on the card that we drew. It had that actual symbol on it. Now, just I'll refresh you before we do that. So this means that she's going to have to rest this die. That's going to go there. It's going to pick back up to 2, and then we move this here. And what I was talking about is right here. Where did it say it? I thought could have sworn it said do this immediately. Oh, place the moments marker here. Oh, wrong one. It's this one. That happens, right? Resolve the storm trigger. Yeah. So that's what happens when we do that. So we resolved the storm trigger and it moved on. Okay, just for some rules, we'll talk about this. On the planet primer, the reference, when the time marker reaches the storm trigger token, or any time it reaches, change the storm's elevation, flip a new energy storm face up. The energy storm card has no effect other than when an explorer gains distress. It does not resolve when the trigger is reached and a new card is revealed. Okay. An explorer only gains distress if they start their turn. Okay, that's not bad. That means she's okay. She's just we got to get her out of there, which we can do, or change her elevation, which we can do, which I think we want to do, right? Yeah, we'll see. I think we're okay there because Luna can do that next turn. So we are right there. All right, well, I think that's a good spot to break because this is going to be a rather long first video. I want to thank you for watching, and also always thank you for subscribing. Let's see if Fiona and Alice can work together to solve this problem and construct right now as part of Task A. We got more things to do. We just don't know what they are yet. And I haven't looked at it. I'm not going to. I want to be surprised when we reveal what we have to do next. So you're going to ask yourself, doesn't that limit the replayability? Not really, because even if you know what you have to do, it's still not easy. And secondly, opportunities are going to come out very differently. The map layout is going to be very different. The abilities your explorers are going to have is going to be very different. The different storm cards are going to come out in different orders. And there's 3 tasks for each planet. So each planet in itself has at least half a dozen plays, maybe more in it before you really kind of see everything. So that's one of the things I love about this game. By the way, I have like 9 planets. It's crazy. But right now, and I think what I'm going to do in the future is, because I want to continue to do these scenarios, I think I'll retain our characters. We'll see. Because I did change them out from the last time. But we got Fiona and Alice, and they're going to see if they can solve this. Looking forward to the girl science power. Yay. Anyway, let's see you in the next episode. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.
Grakkis is a sand-swept desert ruin. Once home to a planet-spanning forest of unfathomably large trees, it is now that forest's graveyard. Its stone-like petrified remains like looming monoliths through the ages. Colossal alien life forms tower across the land like a waking existential nightmare, while smaller sand-battered creatures resiliently carve homes into the stone trees, surviving on the colorful, paste-filled sacks found in stone-shelled vegetation. Over it all, the storm, a tempestuous sheet of chemicals and gases that blanket the land. Pulsating with immeasurable power, the storm constricts and expands, raging along the surface before retreating to ravage the skies, again and again through millennia. There's much to be discovered here, and the storm will almost certainly be the key. We must use it carefully, though, or the roads it provides may lead to our death.